Most of the time, an ultra-rich person's biggest investment is an extremely luxurious, comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, private mansion. There are a lot of big mansions in the United States, but none of them are as big as the 5 biggest mansions in the country that we're going to list down for you. Number 5. Versailles. David Siegel, who owns Westgate Resorts, and his wife Jackie own the 8,400 square foot, 90,000 square foot house called Versailles. It's now being built at 6121 Kirkstone Lane in Windermere, Florida, in the guarded community of Lake Butler Sound in Orange County, Florida, United States of America. The Palace of Versailles in France was the inspiration for the finished building, which would be one of the single-family homes in the United States with the biggest area. It's meant to be the main home for the Siegel family, which right now includes all of their children. The mansion will have 9 kitchens, 14 bedrooms, 3 indoor pools, 2 outdoor pools, a video arcade, a ballroom that can hold 500 to 1,000 people, a 2-story movie theater with a balcony modeled after the Palais Grenier, a 20,000-bottle wine cellar, an exotic fish aquarium, 2 tennis courts, a 2-lane commercial-grade bowling alley, a baseball diamond, a formal outdoor garden, and an elevator. Also, the house will be built on playrooms were turned into a yoga studio, and a teen hangout was made to have a second movie theater because the Siegels wanted to make changes to the original plans to fit their now adult children. Some of the last legal pieces of Brazilian wood are used to make doors and windows, which cost $4 million. Before the Brazilian government banned the trade in big leaf mahogany in 2001, this mahogany was cut down. The outside walls are made of precast concrete with a Pavonazzo marble finish. In 2004, work on the building began. In 2009, when the project was 60% done, work stopped because Siegel's business was having money problems. The house was then put on the market with a price tag of $65 million. After Westgate Resorts' finances got better in 2013, Siegel bought the land and became the only owner. This is when construction began. It was thought that the job would be done in 2016. The project was supposed to be done by March 2017, but now it won't be done until at least 2019. As of November 2020, Jackie Siegel wasn't supposed to be done until more than a year and a half later. This was well into 2023. The project is expected to be worth more than $100 million, which would make it the 4th most expensive home in the United States. Number 4. Arden House. Edward Henry Harriman was a wealthy railroad magnate. He and his wife, Mary Averill Harriman, once owned Arden, an historic house just outside of Harriman, New York. By the beginning of the 20th century, the family owned a total of 40,000 acres or 63 square miles, 160 square kilometers of land in the area, half of which was the Arden Estate. The main house is at the top of a mountain to the east of the town. You can get there from State Route 17 by taking Arden House Road. The music room in the house is very nice. It was made to look like a medieval great hall. The center courtyard is surrounded by a brick tunnel with paintings by Barry Faulkner. Harriman hired a number of American painters to work on the mansion's interior design. Charles Carey Rumsey made a fountain of the 3 Graces, a marble fireplace surrounded with a caricature of builder Thomas Hastings, and corbel carvings of bighorn sheep in the music room. The bas-relief portrait of Harriman that's above one of the fireplaces and the fountain in the inner court were both made by James Earl Fraser. The bust of Mrs. Harriman was made by Malvina Hoffman. He was able to marry Harriman's daughter Mary in 1910, which surprised most people in society. The Herder brothers hung tapestries on the walls of the staircase that showed how the house was built. On the 2nd floor, there was something called the Indian Corridor that had pictures of Native Americans. The Arden Estate is one of the biggest places for conferences in the United States. It has 97 guest rooms and a huge number of halls and meeting rooms. Number 3. The One Bel Air Mansion. The mega mansion in Bel Air had a total floor area of 105,000 square feet and took more than a decade to build. There were some problems with logistics and the law along the way, but on March 3, 2023, it was finally put up for auction. Naomi, a developer and former movie director, had the idea for the huge estate. He hired the famous Los Angeles architect Paul McLean to build a bigger-than-life project. Paul McLean, who is known for his work on the Sunset Strip, created Naomi's house. To start, The One has a great location. It's on top of a tall hill, so guests can see the busy city below in every direction. Rainey Williams, a contributing writer for Rob Report, says, "Imagine being the king of the hill and standing on a property from which you can see a whole city, and at the same time, you have a full compound that includes everything you love and care about." It is true that a house with 21 bedrooms is good for a wide range of hobbies and interests. For people who love cars, there's a garage underground that can hold up to 30 cars and has 2 turntables so you can show off your most expensive brands. If you're more of an athlete, the 3rd floor has a fitness center, a pool, a 4-lane bowling alley, a hair studio, and a juice bar, which is perfect for smoothies and other similar drinks after a workout. The floor also has a movie theater, a wine cellar with 10,000 bottles of wine, and a cigar lounge for people who would rather rest with a cigar than watch a movie. The master bedroom is 5,000 square feet, which is bigger than most New York City homes. It also has a living room, an office, and huge closets for both the man and the woman. Also on the property is a 4,500 square foot guest house for people who would rather stay in a different building. The main house is surrounded by a number of infinity pools that work kind of like a moat and add to the castle on a hill feel. But this isn't the only reason you might want to spend time outside in this place. Here is where the lift stops in the house, so you won't have to walk all the way up the stairs to get to the 10,000 square foot roof terrace, which has amazing views of the city. The One is a great place to have parties, which is made even better by the fact that it has its own bar. Number 2. Oheka Castle. Oheka Castle, also known as the Arden Estate, is a hotel on the North Shore, also known as the Gold Coast of Long Island, in the hamlet of West Hills, New York, which is in the town of Huntington. Kahn built the house from 1914 to 1919. It's the biggest private home in New York and the 2nd largest in the United States. As it was first planned, it has more than 109,000 square feet or 10,100 square meters of floor space, with 127 rooms. The building's been turned into a hotel with 32 rooms and suites for guests. It's been the scene of many picture shoots, TV shows, and movies, and is also a popular place for socialites, celebrities, and dignitaries to have their weddings. It also has a restaurant, a bar, and tours of the estate and gardens as well as the house. Number 1. Biltmore Estate. Last but not least, take a look inside the Vanderbilt family's 130-year-old private home with 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fires, which is the biggest house in the United States. On the estate's named Biltmore House, you can find the country's largest privately owned home. George Vanderbilt, a well-known businessman in the second half of the 19th century and the early 20th century, started building the Biltmore House in 1889. The 250-room house took 6 years to build in the city of Asheville in the state of North Carolina. All over the 8,000 acres that make up the Biltmore Estate, you can find gardens that were designed by the American landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted. The main house is the biggest in the United States and hence the number 1 spot on our list. It has 35 beds, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fireplaces. The home has a long history of collecting works of art and other things from all over the world. During World War II, the house was used by the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. as a place to store artwork. Even a smoking area is provided with 2 bookcases and a blue pattern on the walls. The house also has other features that make it easy to live there. There's also a huge garden and a bowling hall. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned with us for more.